Chosen one. The long season of waiting has reached its final boundary. And now you are being called to step out of days spent hoping silently and into a journey marked by signs, direction, and unmistakable renewal. I know you have heard many promises, lifted your heart in expectation, and then faced months when nothing seemed to move. Therefore, I do not want you to receive these words with impatience or with the illusion that every difficulty will disappear overnight. I want you to receive them with the awareness of someone who understands that the greatest changes do not always begin with a thunderous sound, but with an inner door quietly opening. Today may be the moment when you stop seeing yourself as someone who has been delayed and begin recognizing that the years behind you have formed the endurance necessary for what is coming. What you asked for has not been forgotten, and the sighs you released into the darkness have never fallen into emptiness. I have seen everything, from the moments when you appeared strong before others, to the times when you sat alone, no longer knowing how to name your pain. You have repeatedly wondered whether you were waiting for something that would never arrive. You watched others move forward while you remained in the same place, performing familiar tasks and holding on to hopes that appeared increasingly fragile. There were times when you wanted to let go, not because you had stopped believing, but because you were so tired that you no longer knew which remaining part of your strength could still believe. Yet, even during those days, you never completely turned away. You preserved one small ray of light, continued telling yourself that perhaps your story was not over, and took another step, even when you could not see the road ahead. That quiet faithfulness became the root that kept you standing. The world often sees only the fruit after it appears. But I saw every day you watered ground that gave you no evidence that the seed was still alive. I tell you now that it is alive. What appeared to have died was quietly sending its roots deeper into places your eyes could not see. Take a slow breath and permit yourself to recognize that you have traveled farther than you usually admit. The sleepless nights did not leave only exhaustion. They taught you to listen to subtle movements within your heart. Rejection did not only wound you, it helped you understand that not every closed door is a loss. Every time you had to begin again, you became more humble, wiser, and less dependent upon praise. Some lessons can be given only during seasons when no one applauds. Because if you move only when you are seen, you will not become stable enough to carry something greater. I did not make you wait in order to make you feel insignificant. I used the silence to expand your capacity, so that when the opportunity arrives, you will not seize it with haste, fear of losing it, or the need to prove yourself to anyone. What is opening before you will not appear only as an external gift. Genuine change will first be seen in the way you enter familiar situations with a renewed spirit. You will notice that you no longer react impulsively to words that once wounded you. You will stop chasing those who do not value your presence. You will know how to say no without guilt, and how to say yes without requiring others to guarantee that everything will be perfect. These signs matter more than you realize, because a new door has meaning only when you do not carry every chain from the former room through it. I am preparing you for a freedom that will allow you not only to enter what is good, but also to remain there without destroying it through unhealed fears. You once believed that a breakthrough had to arrive as an event that astonished everyone. But some transformations begin through an extremely quiet decision. It may happen tomorrow morning when you awaken and stop checking who has forgotten you. It may happen when you decide to complete the work you have delayed instead of continuing to question your ability. It may happen when you leave a relationship that only takes and never builds. It may also begin when you start caring more seriously for your health, finance, time, and the gifts entrusted to you. Do not underestimate these small choices. Every time you act in agreement with the person you are being called to become, you release another lock. The future does not merely arrive before you. It is built through steps that cooperate with guidance. I also want you to release the belief that a number, an external sign, or an action performed on a screen can determine whether blessing will come to you. Your readiness is not proven through a comment, but through the way you live after hearing the truth. If you want to declare your faith, declare it through honesty when no one is watching, kindness when you have reasons to become bitter, perseverance when results have not appeared, and the willingness to lay down what you know has completed its season. What is sacred does not need to be displayed in order to become effective. One sincere decision made in an empty room may be more powerful than thousands of words spoken under the influence of temporary emotion. Therefore, let your life itself become the confirmation that you are ready. You have passed through fire, but that fire did not consume your worth. It revealed what comfort could never purchase: patience, discernment, the ability to rise again, and a heart that still desires to love even after being wounded. I know there were moments when the weight upon you became so heavy that every breath felt difficult. You looked upward and wondered why you had to endure so much, while others seemed to travel along gentler roads. I do not deny that pain, nor do I tell you to be grateful for everything that wounded you. But I want you to see that those experiences had no authority to take away your purpose. What tried to close your heart could not prevent you from continuing to search for light. What made you feel useless could not erase the gift placed within you. You are still here, and your presence today is already evidence that the darkest days did not have the final word. Think of someone who was cast into the lowest circumstances, misunderstood, forgotten, and forced to live for years in a place completely different from the dream of his youth. If someone looked only at the surface, it would appear that life had erased his name. Yet in that lowest place, his character, wisdom, and ability to govern were being refined. When the appointed time came, the transition no longer required many years. One proper door carried him from being forgotten into a position where he could save and support many people. You are the same. Certain qualities within you could be developed only during the season when no one was watching. When the proper door opens, you will understand why you needed to learn patience, responsibility, and the ability to preserve an upright heart before being entrusted with more. Yet do not allow renewed hope to make you believe every offer or call every opportunity a sign from heaven. The right door will not require you to exchange your dignity, hide the truth, or harm others in order to enter. What is good will make room for discernment, examination, and peace. When an opportunity involving work, finance, health, or relationships appears, look at its fruit. Does it make you more responsible? Or does it merely stimulate greed? Does it bring respect and growth? Or cause you to live in anxiety, secrecy, and dependence? I want you to be blessed, but I also want you to possess enough wisdom to recognize what truly belongs. Not everything that shines is treasure, and not every difficult road is wrong. Move slowly enough to listen, but not so slowly that fear begins calling delay wisdom. Your new season may begin through very practical things: a conversation that brings healing, a debt that is reorganized, a healthy habit that is maintained, an idea that is finally acted upon, or a relationship that is returned to proper boundaries. Do not merely wait for a great external change while neglecting the small things already in your hands. I often open the way through what you already possess. Care well for what has been entrusted to you, even if it is only one room, a modest job, an ability few people know about, or several sincere relationships. Sustainable expansion always begins with faithfulness to the present. When you know how to preserve a small stream, you will possess enough wisdom to govern a great river. My child, your waiting has not been meaningless, but now you must stop living as though you are still imprisoned in the former season. Do not continue telling your story in the language of failure. Do not introduce yourself through what you have lost. You are not merely the person who was rejected, who lacked resources, or who had to begin again. You are someone who survived without completely losing tenderness. Someone who learned how to rise when no one knew how many times you had fallen. Enter the new chapter with gratitude, but do not carry shame. Hope, but do not abandon responsibility. Open your heart to receive, but preserve discernment. I am with you through every step, not only when the door opens widely, but also while you are learning to become someone who can walk through it with peace, humility, and stability. I will reconnect before your eyes every broken piece of the years behind you, so that you may understand that no pain in your journey existed without meaning. A time will come when you look back at the loneliness that once made you weep and recognize it as the quiet room where you were prepared to hear your deepest calling clearly. You will remember the times you were rejected and understand that not every closed door was punishment. Some doors closed to prevent you from entering a place where you would have lost peace, dignity, and direction. The wounds that once caused you to believe you were weak actually trained your eyes to see beyond appearances, gave you a heart capable of compassion toward the suffering, and developed an endurance that does not surrender easily. Even the intuitions you once questioned will gradually be illuminated, helping you recognize that certain feelings of uneasiness did not come to make you afraid, but to encourage you to pause before an unsuitable road. As the larger picture appears, you will no longer ask why you had to endure everything, because you will see that each piece quietly guided you toward the proper place. I know there were seasons when you felt the world treated you differently. You entered a room and noticed that some people immediately approached you, wanting to be heard, comforted, or simply to remain near the peace they sensed within you. Yet others, who had never truly known you, became cold, guarded, or attempted to diminish your worth. This caused you to wonder whether you had done something wrong or whether your presence was somehow too different. My beloved, do not use everyone's response as a measure of your worth. Light often brings warmth to those searching for a way, but it can also make those who desire to continue hiding uncomfortable. This does not give you permission to become proud or consider yourself greater than anyone. Simply understand that the honesty within you may touch places that others are not ready to face. Your responsibility is not to make everyone like you, but to preserve that presence in purity and humility, refusing to use your gift to judge others. Darkness repeatedly tried to make you forget who you were before you became mature enough to recognize the strength placed within you. It used criticism to make you question your voice, failure to convince you that you were incapable, and isolation to make you conclude that no one needed your presence. At times, it used painful memories to persuade you to reduce your dreams. Live cautiously and never leave familiar ground. Yet you continued. You were wounded without becoming someone who deliberately wounded others. You cried without surrendering to despair. You fell, but still found the strength to rise, even if only through one very small step. This perseverance speaks more clearly about you than any declaration ever could. Strength is not always revealed through a loud voice or a spectacular victory. Sometimes it is simply the fact that you preserve kindness after being treated unjustly, choose hope after repeated disappointment, and continue believing that your life can blossom after a long, barren season. What you once considered weakness may actually be an ability that you must learn to use properly. Your intuition is not an invitation to distrust everyone. It is a capacity that helps you recognize inconsistency between words and results, between appearances and what is truly happening. Compassion does not require you to rescue everyone until you become empty. It is a gift that helps you see the pain behind someone's behavior while still establishing boundaries. Sensitivity is not a sentence that should make you ashamed. It is like a delicate compass, enabling you to sense an atmosphere, recognize subtle changes, and understand what has not yet been spoken. Yet every gift requires maturity. You must learn to distinguish a genuine warning from fear formed through old experiences, mercy from tolerance of harmful behavior, and empathy from carrying another person's responsibilities. When you learn this, sensitivity will no longer exhaust you. It will become a source of wisdom that helps you walk with greater clarity. The loneliness that once followed you did not always mean that you were unloved. Sometimes you were surrounded by many people and still felt empty because the conversations around you remained on the surface, while something within you continually longed for sincerity, depth, and connection without performance. You tried to force yourself to fit into places that did not share your values, laughed at things that exhausted your heart, and remained silent so that you would not appear different. Yet the more you did this, the more unfamiliar you became to yourself. I want you to understand that belonging is not created by making yourself smaller to meet the expectations of others. It appears when you can be present without hiding your finest qualities, when you are heard without begging, when kindness is answered with respect, and when your boundaries are not considered betrayal. You do not need a large number of people. You need relationships sincere enough not to turn you into a smaller version of yourself. The first transformation begins when you stop chasing acceptance from those who cannot accompany you into depth. You will no longer spend an entire day analyzing why someone became distant, why a message went unanswered, or why you always have to make greater efforts to be recognized. You will begin to understand that some relationships are empty not because you are inadequate, but because they were built upon foundations incapable of nourishing your growth. When you recognize this, you do not need to become angry or look down upon anyone. You simply withdraw the energy placed in the wrong location. Stop standing before doors that do not open, and return to caring for what possesses genuine value. This release does not make you cold. It brings order to the love within you. You can remain kind without allowing others to use your kindness however they desire. You can forgive without necessarily restoring the same level of access they once possessed. Then you stop blaming yourself merely because you feel more deeply, think differently, or cannot become satisfied with a superficial life. In the past, you concealed many parts of yourself because you feared being considered difficult to understand. You made your voice quieter, reduced your enthusiasm, and pretended not to care about the things that truly stirred your heart. Yet the more you hid, the more you felt as though you were living in a room without air. Now I am teaching you to value who you are without falling into pride. You can acknowledge your distinctive qualities while remaining humble enough to learn. You can respect your abilities without diminishing anyone else. You can live honestly without turning your difference into a wall of separation. When you stop fighting against yourself, the strength previously spent pretending will return and enable you to create, love, and serve with new freedom. The deepest transformation takes place when you no longer shrink yourself to fit spaces that were never created for you. You stop entering a room while asking who you must become in order to be accepted, and begin asking what goodness you can bring into that place. Your posture changes, not through arrogance, but because you have stopped bowing before false definitions. You no longer apologize for healthy boundaries, betray the inward voice to preserve false peace, or exchange long-term purpose for temporary praise. You begin walking with the calmness of someone who knows they have been called to live meaningfully. Every decision is considered more carefully. Every relationship is viewed with greater wisdom, and every opportunity is evaluated not only by its benefit, but by whether it moves you closer to your genuine self. Therefore, do not curse the pieces that once caused you pain. One day you will see that they created depth within the picture that easier seasons could never have produced. Loneliness taught you to stand. Rejection taught you to recognize the places that truly belong to you. Wounds expanded your compassion. Intuition taught you how to listen. Resistance forced you to discover endurance that you did not know you possessed. None of this makes wrongdoing right, but I can carry you beyond it and transform what you endured into wisdom. You are no longer someone living only to survive today. You are becoming someone capable of illuminating the road for those still lost among their own broken pieces. Stand upright, my child, not to prove that you are different, but to live fully in the light, compassion, and purpose placed within you long ago. You must understand that what you did 9 days ago was not insignificant. It was a quiet milestone, revealing that the goodness within you can touch levels of reality that ordinary eyes cannot see. That day, you were not walking in ease. Your mind was filled with unresolved matters, financial concerns that repeatedly interrupted your sleep, and questions about tomorrow that returned without answers. You also carried a loneliness that was difficult to describe, because people were accustomed to seeing you as someone steady, capable of rising alone, and always able to carry another responsibility. Therefore, few recognized that behind your calm appearance was a heart that had been trying for too long. You continued doing what had to be done, remained present for others, and kept everything from collapsing, while the world around you continued asking for more and rarely asked whether you still had enough strength. In the middle of such a day, an ordinary need appeared before you. There were no trumpets, no radiant light, and no one standing nearby to recognize your action. There was only a person quietly carrying difficulty, and a moment most people could easily have passed by. What was precious was not only that you helped, but the way you responded, before calculation had time to speak, before fear of scarcity could remind you that you already carried many burdens. You acted. You did not stop to measure whether the person deserved help. You did not ask what the action would bring back to you. You did not look around to see whether anyone was watching. The generosity within you recognized another person's difficulty and naturally moved toward them. Like water flowing toward dry ground without being commanded. Perhaps in only 7 brief seconds, you made a choice that your mind could later have analyzed for a long time. Yet those 7 seconds revealed a profound truth. When confronted with another person's pain, your first response was not to turn away, but to move closer. This is what I want you to recognize about yourself. Because you remember clearly the times when you believe you did not do enough. Yet quickly forget the moments when the light within you spoke without hesitation. Perhaps what you gave that day was not large, according to the measurements of the world. It may have been only a small amount, while you yourself had to consider every expense. Perhaps you helped carry something heavy for several minutes, listened to someone who had been overlooked, or offered a gentle word while you were also weary within. Yet the value of that action did not lie in its amount or duration. A small gift, offered sincerely, may carry greater weight than an impressive act of generosity seeking praise. A genuine smile given while you are exhausted may save someone from feeling entirely invisible. A hand extended at the proper time may remind them that kindness still has a place in this world. I do not measure your action with the scale people commonly use. I look at the place from which it arose, at purity without bargaining, and at compassion that did not wait for ideal circumstances before allowing itself to appear. This origin made what seemed small deeply precious. Many times, you believed that your life would have meaning only when you accomplished something great, created a remarkable change, or received recognition from many people. But I want to correct the way you see. Important turning points are often born in moments no one notices. One kind choice made when you possess every reason to close your heart may reveal your true character more clearly than any declaration. That day, your circumstances were not abundant. Your mind was not peaceful, and your emotions were not in a favorable condition. If you were generous only when everything was plentiful, that would still be good, but it would not reveal the full depth within you. The rare thing was that even while you knew what it meant to lack, you did not allow scarcity to turn you cold. You did not permit pressure to steal your tenderness. You did not allow wounds to teach you indifference. You may have been tired, but exhaustion did not destroy your ability to see another person. That was a victory you never named. I also know that after that moment, you may have continued with your day and nearly forgotten what happened. You did not record it, tell anyone, or wait for a response. Yet actions born from goodness do not disappear merely because the public did not witness them. They leave an imprint upon the person who received them. And from that person, they may continue moving towards someone else. Kindness given at the proper time can calm anger, prevent a desperate decision, or awaken hope that someone believed was lost. You do not always know how the story continues after you leave, but that does not mean the influence has ended. You are like someone who lights a lamp and continues walking, unaware that its light helped another person avoid a dark part of the road. Therefore, do not underestimate what is done in silence. Not every seed sprouts before the eyes of the one who planted it. But every seed placed into the ground through love carries the possibility of new life. Yet I also want you to remember that kindness does not mean exhausting yourself. What you did 9 days ago was precious because it was freely chosen, not forced, and did not arise from fear of rejection. But you must not use generosity to prove your worth, nor must you accept every burden merely because you can feel another person's pain. A compassionate heart still needs boundaries so that its light is not consumed by those who only take and never respect. I want you to continue helping, but with wisdom. Learn to distinguish between someone genuinely needing a hand and someone continually placing their responsibility upon your shoulders. Know when to give, when to guide, and when to step back so that another person can learn their own lesson. Mature kindness does not rescue others from every consequence. It supports them without taking possession of their journey. You do not need to become an endless source for everyone. You need only remain faithful to what has truly been placed upon your path. What happened that day also reminds you that the difficult years have not turned you into the person you once feared becoming. Betrayal did not remove your ability to believe in goodness. Loneliness did not cause you to stop seeing others. Prolonged pressure could not completely dry up the stream of compassion within you. This reveals that beneath all your weariness, you still preserve something pure that darkness could not possess. You may have believed you were merely trying to survive. Yet even in that period, you still became a place where another person could be strengthened. Do not underestimate this power. It is not the power of a loud voice, but the power of someone who has experienced pain and chosen not to pass that pain on to others. You received what was unfair, yet still chose to offer kindness. You knew what it meant to be forgotten. So, when you saw someone becoming invisible within a crowd, you did not continue walking. Choices like these reveal the genuine character I am cultivating within you. Therefore, from today onward, stop looking at yourself only through your deficiencies. Remember that moment as a mirror reflecting the nobility still present within you. Do this not to praise yourself, but to recognize that you remain capable of making a difference even during a season that is not yet completely peaceful. You do not need to wait until every debt is resolved, every wound is healed, or every question is answered before becoming a source of light. Even now, in your imperfection, you can offer something good. Each time you do so freely, sincerely, and wisely, a part of the darkness around you is pushed back. I saw that action. I saw the 7 seconds in which you chose compassion instead of indifference. And I want you to understand that they did not pass without meaning. What you did confirmed a truth in a world that closes its heart so easily. You still preserve the ability to open your hand. Protect this quality, nurture it, and allow it to continue guiding you. Because quiet kindness will open roads that strength, money, and fame could never reach on their own.